Madcap Music Review. We are here with a bass legend, Rik Fox. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, John. How about you?
Good, doing good. So you just got out of the studio with snakes and spiders and snakes.
That's correct. Yeah. Spiders and Snakes. I've known the guys. I actually played with the band some years back, and I haven't seen them in a long time. The drummer, Tim Yusui, is the vice president of Cleopatra Records. When they put out the Hollywood Rocks box set with CDs, they asked me, and I gave them one of my songs. We put it on the CD set, and the compilation that's on there. And then I haven't seen or heard from him in years. And then out of the clear blue sky, Tim contacts me through Facebook and says, "Hey, would you like to come and do a track on our album?" I said, of all the bass players in Los Angeles, how did my name happen to come up? You have choices of like thousands of names. He says, because we played together, we're friends. And he goes, and I know you like Angel, you're a big Angel fan. And I said, well, that was my dream band when I wanted to replace Mickey Jones. And he says, well, we're doing a remake of the Rascal song, Ain't Gonna Eat Out My Heart Anymore, but we're doing the Angel version. So It's kind of like coming full circle. I didn't quite get to be an Angel, but I'm doing a song that Angel did. So I went into the studio and I knocked out the track, and Chris Sheridan from the legendary Dallas, Texas band Sweet Savage, played guitar on it, and Betsy from Bitch sang on it. She did a duet with Tim.
Oh wow!
And it's kind of an interesting new twist because it's not being sung from a guy's perspective, and it's not being sung from a girl's perspective exclusively. It's kind of he said, she said.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and there's the line in there where he says, and you part your lips to tantalize. And I wasn't until I've heard the song so many times that it didn't dawn on me. I don't think they were talking about these. Because when Tim sings the line, he has like a little laugh in there, and they left it in. They went, oh, that's what they're talking about.
Oh, those ones. Yeah.
So anyway, so it was fun. You know, it was just a short recording. I just went in for the one song, and it was great. We had a lot of fun.
And so now you'll be co-headlining with Uli John Roth, playing with White Lie.
Well, I don't know if I go so far as to say co-headlining. White Lie is the band I'm a special guest with. It's Kevin Ray's band. White Lie was a big band in the '80s, and same scene. When I was with Steeler and such and Stan.
Yeah.
They've secured the main support position.
Right.
So there's 2 or 3 bands under opening.
And you guys are direct support.
We're direct support, right? And then they've added some new talent to the roster. There's going to be Michelangelo, Craig Goldie, some guys from Dio, and they're going to be doing some Dio stuff, some Sabbath stuff, some Deep Purple stuff, and of course Ule's Scorpion stuff.
Oh wow!
So it's going to be like the main event. I know people are talking about going to a Randy Rhoads tribute show of some kind, which is just up the road.
Yeah.
People don't realize they can go from there right over to ours.
Yeah, right on Malone's. Yeah, it's
so for star power, we're like the main event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we're here with. Next to GHS Strings that you've been proudly endorsing and pushing for many years.
Yep, going back to Sin.
Yeah.
1983, 84. I was using GHS back then. I dropped out of the music scene and did other things for a couple of decades. And it's kind of like, when you're unemployed for 6 months, you try to get back in the marketplace, they're like, nope, you haven't worked long enough, so we can't let you in. It's kind of self-defeating. I've been out of the music scene for a couple of decades. I worked in the film industry. I did historical reenactment, for my ancestry.
Right.
Polish Wing Hussars. And thank you, Serge Polonia, for the shirt. And then I try to get back into music, and a lot of my fans and my friends are like, you're back where you belong. We miss you.
Absolutely.
And then there's some musicians that are like, no, you can't come in. You've been out too long. It's our turn now. So you get this really strange drama going, especially on Facebook,
I mean, you go back to Martian Rock Band. I think that was your first band, wasn't it?
Yeah. I debuted in New York City in 1975 with
Max's Kansas City, wasn't it?
The legendary Max's Kansas City.
Yeah.
And same place, the New York Dolls, the Brats, the Planets.
Deborah Harry before Blondie.
Right. She was a backup singer.
Yeah.
And so that's where I started. I got my start there. Then I went on to New Jersey. I played with Virgin, the original Virgin.
Right. And then
Virgin became Sin.
Sin, yeah. Yeah.
So, but you did your homework.
Yeah, yeah. And then most people don't realize they probably wouldn't have heard of W.A.S.P. if it wasn't for you. You named them.
Well, you know,
by accidentally stepping on a leaf, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was on the phone outside of Blackie's house, out of his apartment, and you know, it's like this, like kicking over leaves, and there it was, and I stepped on it, and then turned over the leaf, and it's like the old Green Hornet logo from the '60s. It's curled and it's dying, and its stinger was doing this.
Yeah.
I went like it's in an attack position, but it's like dying, but it still wants to attack.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool metaphor.
And I went back into the house and I said, Blackie, I got an idea for a band name. He's like, just watching the Yankees game. And he goes, what? And I said, W.A.S.P. And he goes, wow. So that's a great, keep thinking like that. That's a great idea. We went to rehearsal, you know, that night or the next night, and he says to Tony and Randy, I got a new name for the band. Randy goes, what is it? He goes, W.A.S.P. W.A.S.P. He goes, I wanted to call the band Hellion, because he's from Texas. And that's what they call bad kids in Texas, Hellions.
Yeah.
And I said, Randy, there already is a band in Hollywood called Hellion.
Exactly.
And Tony goes, who names a band after a bug?
There's a lot.
And I said, the Beatles?
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody just got quiet.
Scorpions?
Scorpions?
Yeah.
And that was it. That was how the name was born. And to this day, I'm still hearing from people with W.A.S.P. fans, been W.A.S.P. fans for 30 years. I don't know who you are. What did you do with the band? You know, and then the other W.A.S.P. fans come in and go, hey, name the band.
Well, you see those early promo shots, and even that demo EP that went out, wasn't it like your particular one because you'd written on it?
Yeah.
And I forget the title it got, but that's because you wrote that on there accidentally.
It's called Face the Attack.
Yeah, and that's how everyone knows it, but you had just written it on there.
We did a live 3-track demo
at
Randy's studio in Buena Park. And I took some magic markers one day and I made up an imaginary album cover. And I went to some printing place and I reduced the band picture that Don Atkins Jr. took. And I started drawing around the picture and I did this kind of lettering, like I was the same kind of lettering I was doodling with Warlord. You know, and I wrote Face the Attack. I colored it in black and red. And some two years later, it was sitting in a car with the rest of my record collection and some clothes under a carport at a place I was staying at. Somebody set up the car to be stolen.
Oh, wow.
And some of my collection got stolen. My original W.A.S.P. demo was in that. So whoever stole it must have known what they had in their hand. And from there, tape traders and pirates.
That thing's become legendary.
But around the world, for over a decade, W.A.S.P. fans, they didn't know it was my tape. Until it came full circle and somebody gave me a copy and I went, this is a really bad copy of my original W.A.S.P. demo. So, you know, that's my bass tracks. It's about half a dozen of the songs that are on the first album. It's my original bass tracks on that demo.
Right, one of those songs ended up turning into Wild Child, didn't it, that you wrote on there?
One of my fans in Poland said, Master of Disaster
that's the one.
Sounds like Wild Child. And I said, well, I wrote the second verse. I wrote the drum break with Tony in there. But Blackie, I think, took the song and cut it up. And, you know, he's not one to waste anything. He made it come back years later and went, oh, I can use this, I can use this. And I think it's believed he cut up Wild Child, cut up Master of Disaster to make Wild Child. And that the verses seem to almost match the same kind of feel and the way it's sung and everything. So when I can get back out again doing my material as a tribute and a thank you to the W.A.S.P. fans who have finally come back around and supported me, I want to do Master of Disaster live.
That'd be cool.
For them, you know, as well as School Days.
Well, then you moved on to Steeler, and that first album, I mean, that's just a masterpiece. You got Yngwie on there, Ron Keel. And I know you did some shows last year with Ron at the Whiskey. Yeah. How was that?
Keel came to town. Ron said, I can't play Hollywood without calling my bud Rik Fox in. And he said, come on in. And we did I walked out on stage. And there's a cut on the Steeler album called Abduction. I wrote that.
That's right,
Despite what the credits said, I wrote that.
Yeah.
We came back from watching Y&T at the Roxy. The Black Tiger album, and they had an intro tape called From the Moon. And I went, as soon as we got back to the studio, I went in, I sat down, I started just messing around with stuff. I went like an E chord to a C chord, and Yngwie walks in, he goes, wow, man, that's cool. What are you doing, man? I said, we're just playing it and mark it on the drums. And that's how Abduction was born. That became our intro theme. So I walk on stage, Ron had it cued. As I walk on stage, they're playing Abduction. And the house went nuts.
That's
it was
awesome.
like the Country Club, 1983, all over again. I melted. It just my skin crawled. It was like coming home.
Yeah.
After all these years.
Yeah.
And we did. We launched in a Cold Day in Hell, and the place was bonkers. And then we did a acoustic version of Serenade. And that was it. It was just kind of a little personal reunion with Ron and I. I won't say that it's completely out of the question for a Steeler reunion to happen, but it's Ron's call.
Right.
It's up to Ron. You know, and if it happens, you know, anytime, anywhere.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
The fans are asking for it. They
really
big
are.
Time. Yeah.
Big
and then
time.
Rob Marcello from Danger Danger, is a friend of Ron's. He videotaped, somebody videotaped him playing Yngwie solo on Cold Day in Hell, and he tagged me in it on Facebook. And he goes, Rick, check this out. And he's playing Yngwie solo, and I said, that's it. Now convince Ron, let's do the Steeler reunion.
Yeah, all right, there you go.
So, and that would be fun. It'd be a blast.
Absolutely.
That stuff again.
And you've been all over the place at NAMM this year. You got Rock and Roll Gangster, Dunlop Picks, which you've endorsed for quite a long time.
Rock and Roll Gangster, right there, baby. So yeah, Daryl's got me on there, and Steve Talbot helped me. He did the graphics, so he put in the work there, and that's cool. So, and I'm just looking at at other stuff, picking up some things here and there.
Dunlop Picks.
I went over there.
Gibson.
Well, I have to go up to Gibson Epiphone, yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to check out W.A.S.P. I'm looking at floor pedals and effects, all kinds of, if I'm thinking of ever doing I'm not a bass solo kind of guy. Billy Sheehan, that's your bass solo guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's got all kinds of harmonizers and stuff. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a rock and roll bass player. I don't really do all kinds of abstract Geddy Lee stuff.
Right.
But if I get a moment to do something and stand out for a minute or two, I'm looking for some special effects that just, like Joey DeMaio had on the first Manowar album. There's a song called Dark Avenger.
Oh yeah.
And he has some kind of monster roaring sound effect at the beginning of that song. I'm going to see what I can find to recreate that. It's like Gene Simmons. He uses special effects to make monster sounds.
Right.
That's what the fans want. They want a show. They want, they want crazy, left field stuff.
Well, I always wanted to ask you about that. You used to watch Kiss rehearse back before Ace was even in the band.
That's true.
Did they rehearse in full makeup back then, or no?
Not all the time. A lot of it was during the winter. And it was I think 82, 83. I'm sorry, 72 or 73.
Yeah.
I was still in high school. And it was a lot of bands rented industrial lofts.
Okay.
There was no insulation.
Right.
And they were tiny. I mean, you may be able to fit this van in there. That's how small it was.
Oh, wow.
And they'd line the walls with egg cartons to absorb the sound.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold in the winter. They'd pass a bottle of wine around to keep warm.
Sure.
And I was dating one of Peter Chris's sisters. My friend John was dating another sister, and we had some friends from the neighborhood. Peter would stop by his mom's house, which was right around the corner for me.
That's right. The family grew up right around you.
And in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Shout out to Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
In Amityville, where you were born.
That's where I was, yeah.
The infamous Amityville Horror.
But I came before the house was built.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so we'd pile into Lydia's car. He was driving Chris's car. He'd take us to rehearsal. We'd all sit on the couch and we'd watch him. And it was just Gene, Peter, and Paul running through the material. And we were like, we've never seen anything like this before, heard anything like this before. The songs were heavy, they were loud, they were very catchy. And I missed a couple of rehearsals. We went back another time. There's this guy in a gray pinstripe suit with an orange and a purple sneaker. And he's leaning against the wall, he's playing, he's ripping. Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page leads. That was Ace Frehley.
Oh, wow.
So we missed the night that he actually got the gig. And we went back, we kept watching them rehearse, and then they did like a special party, and they were still experimenting. The makeup looked more like the New York Dolls. Peter had like little whiskers on there. Hey, it's Uli Roth. We're playing with him tonight.
Yeah, there he is.
And they were still, Gene was wearing like a white sailor suit and some kind of makeup. Paul was still kind of experimenting with what he was doing. They eventually started to become their personalities, who they were.
Sure.
The history will bear out what they turned into. So.
Well, you were the Lizard Man for a while, weren't you?
In the Martian Rock Band. That was the Gene's influence on me.
Yeah.
If he spit blood and shot fire, I wanted to do something like that too. So in the Martian Rock Band, our opening song was, of course, "Take Me to Your Leader."
Yeah, there you go.
And there's a couple of breaks in the song where the guitar player, in one line, mentions each member of the band and where they're from. And he goes, the bass player, he's from Mercury. I'm like, well, Mercury's a hot planet. But I wanted to do something that was like, I was always been a fan of the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Okay.
I wanted to do a lizard.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went out and I got this frosted highlight cream, and in like a green color.
Okay.
And I got like 5, 6, 8 tubes of this stuff. They were this big, and I painted my whatever skin was showing. And I took an eyeliner pencil and I drew the scales.
Yeah.
And I took green food coloring, colored the inside of my mouth. And you take a mouthful of beer with that, it starts to foam, and it turns green. And so it's like I puke all this green blood.
Sure, sure.
And the guitar player had this little magic. There was magic stores in Times Square. It was much easier to buy special effects back then than it is now. Because now terrorism and pyrotechnics, you have to have kinds of permits.
Oh yeah, big time.
There was a thing called Dragon's Breath, and it was a yellow powder. And if you pour it on a table and throw a match on it, it wouldn't burn. The match would go out. The secret is it burns when it's aerated, sprayed into the air.
Oh wow.
So it comes with a little black squeeze bottle, like a nasal spray bottle.
Yeah, yeah.
With a straw. And he had it on the back of his guitar on the tuning pegs. And he'd come up there with a match or a lighter, and he'd squeeze the bottle, and it would shoot this flame out. Dragon's Breath.
You guys are lucky you didn't burn the place down.
4 or 5 foot flame.
Jeez.
So I said, well, I want to top that. I want to see what I can do. And I went out and got these silver cocktail lame gloves, and I cut a hole in the tip here. And I put the contraption under the glove in my hand, like Spider-Man, when he goes like this, and he shoots a web.
Yeah.
So what I would do is, I put it up here, and I'd get a cocktail straw and extend it up to the tip of the finger where the hole was. And I had candles on my amps. So I said, I can't use a lighter, that's cheesy. There's another magic effect that was called flesh paper. And a lot of magicians still use it today. They'll use some kind of flame source to get it going. And they go like this with their hand, and the flame follows them. It's like an onion skin paper. It's really thin.
Right.
And easy to conceal. So I'd have the flesh paper in one hand. I'd go to the candles on my amp, and I'd use that as the igniter. Then it would light the flame in my hand, and I'd squeeze, and I would shoot the flame out of my finger, out of my hand. The guitar player standing there going, nice. So,
very cool.
I was just trying to bring, excitement and a show to the stage.
Absolutely.
Something different. Originally, Martian Rock Band, the guitar player wore like a purple jumpsuit, and they had a guy dressed like a robot on the side of the stage, and they didn't really wear costumes. And I found out there was a company in New York called Capizio, and they made spandex ballet costumes.
Okay.
It fits like skate, zips up.
Yeah.
And I put that on, and I put rhinestones on it, and I paint myself green, and I have these silver platform boots with studs in them, look like something on a roller ball. And I go up on stage, and the guitar player's like, now I gotta wear makeup. So he started painting his face white and black, all kinds of designs. And we're both using all these magic effects and stuff, and word gets around, and like, next thing you know, we're in Rock Scene magazine.
Oh, wow.
And we were shot by Lee Black Childers, who was David Bowie's photographer.
Oh,
Came up to our loft, we did a photo session. It was like, how cool is that? We got shot by David Bowie's photographer.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
We must be doing something right.
Absolutely.
And of course, Max's would have their annual Christmas party. All the musicians got to eat for free. The owners of the club would take care of everybody. It was like a big family.
Sure.
And in Wayne County, like I said, Tough Dards, Rats, The Planets, Luger, Street Punk, all of us bands there, the Ramones, everybody's a Suicide, a big party, and we all would eat. So it's not like California. I mean, there was a little bit of competitiveness in New York, but it was still, we're all in this together, kind of a vibe.
Yeah, back in those days.
And I come out to California, and everybody's like, hi, how you doing? And as soon as you turn around, they're like, asshole.
Yeah, people are jaded. They've been jaded out this way.
So it's a different vibe when I came to California. So, New York are trying to fit in. I'm a stranger in a strange land. So,
well, where's a good place people can find you online to keep up with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I have several pages. There's a regular my timeline wall. Then I have a Rik Fox music fan page, and then there's a friend of mine, Mickey Sanker, who helps me with Wikipedia. and he created another Rik Fox page on Facebook that's related to Wikipedia.
Okay.
And then I have my new website. Steve Talbot helped me with that, and I think it's rikfoxbase.wix/Rik Fox. The thing is, some people just don't remember how to spell my name correctly. They keep spelling R-I-C-K.
Yeah, it's R-I-K. Yeah.
R-I-C-K-F-O-X was a basketball player.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's all. I have my website. If they want to contact me through Facebook or whatever, they can do that, and I'll give them the website. And things are picking up. You know, I'm back in the arena.
And it's good to have you back. We've missed you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you very
Rik
much.
Fox, NAMM 2014. Check this guy out. He's back.